Hey traders, welcome back for another video. Today what I want to do is mix two different strategies that I've found to be rather effective. That's supply and demand, so identifying supply and demand zones and mixing that with momentum indicators as well. So today just going to be jumping onto doing a lot of back testing between identifying these zones using momentum to try and see the best entry and exit positions are. And let's see how we go and see if we can make a profit. All right, guys, as you can see, I'm on the GBP to USD. I think I'm on, yeah, April 2022. I think this is to April 2023. And I've already drawn out a supply zone and a demand zone on the 15-minute time frame. So I'm going to try and do this on a lower time frame because usually when I'm doing forex trading, I'm often doing it mostly in real time, not waiting for a price to break. Just an hour or 2 hours of on a 15-minute time frame of just trading. So let's jump in and see if today we can make a profit using these two trading strategies. You can see here that it's already jumped into my demand zone, and so what I'm doing now is waiting for it to either re-enter this zone or climb up to the supply zone. And once we see, or once we get close, we can take a look at the momentum indicator to see whether or not we want to enter that position. So right now the momentum indicator is showing that we are in an oversold territory. Not oversold, sorry. No, the volume or the trading is in the downside at this point in time. So let's see where the market takes us. Yeah, you can see it slowly climbing up. Here we go. So we can see strong momentum into the upside. So I guess we can say that this demand zone can be verified. Seems to be having a lot. Whoa, just jump straight down. Look at that. Whoa, straight down. The momentum straight down. I wouldn't consider that as entering our demand zone. Oh, yeah, okay. It has kind of entered our demand zone. I might have been a bit late there. Actually, let me slow this down so we can find the right entry point. Is it even moving? Ah, here we go. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm gonna take this as an entry into the demand zone, and we might want to begin placing a long trade. By the way, this is actually a pattern. This is a pattern here. It's called the double top, which is actually a bearish signal. So this might not be a good thing. Might not be a good entry, but let's give it a try anyway. Yeah, so you got the momentum is certainly gone down. I don't see it stopping anytime soon. Maybe we'll want to wait the market out slightly, see if it goes a little bit further into the downside. It's not moving. Okay, well, we're starting to see it go up again. Okay, yeah, now you can see the momentum is making a bit of a U-turn here. Let's enter the market.
Buy at market executed.
All right, let me modify to try and hit that previous high. Or actually, I'm gonna go into more of this side. Yeah, just before the high, and then I'll put my stop loss just below that the previous lowest low, which is over here. All right, let's see how this trade plays out. So 22.
Sell limit executed.
Oh.
Exit with gains.
Oh, okay. That was pretty quick and easy. What happened there? Why is my gain is only 12 pounds, but I thought I put my stop at 22 pounds. That's odd, right? 12.4, really? Huh. Okay, I'm gonna have to check that later. Very, very strange. why the platform shows it that way. Okay, let's continue and see whether or not the market continues this uptrend or uh, starts to reverse down into the downtrend. Really, when I've been playing with this strategy, it really is zone to zone. That's all you have to focus on. If you can, it, it's not the most accurate, but there is some accuracy here when doing supply and demand trading. I have found it to be one of the easier ones to identify and trade with. You're not going to get all the trades, obviously, but it has shown to, give me a bit of profit. And that's what we're trying to aim for. You can see there's a lot of slow, a lot of pushback between the buyers and the sellers here. Look at that. Yeah, the market doesn't know where it wants to go. Let's try and speed this up a little bit. Oh, enter one of our zones. Okay, got a lot of market movement. What time is it as well? Look, you can see here in New York, it's 9 o'clock, so that trading session is already over. Um, so it's not really there shouldn't be too much happening at this time. What I'll start doing also is I've been trading the London session, which is not bad, doing the GBP USD, of course. But I'm gonna move over to doing the New York session in the future. I mainly due to larger volume and the timing is better for me. So I'll start putting out videos on trading the New York session instead of the London one. Yeah, it's going to be slow. This is going to be a bit of a slow momentum, slow movements now because I mean it's what 1 a.m. over in New York. So you can see there's a very nice slow climb up to that supply zone, which is pretty good. That's what we want. So once it hits, is it gonna hit? Yay, okay. So it's hit that supply zone. Um, let's try and slow this market down. I think it's gonna push back into that supply zone again. Let's see, push back up into the supply zone. Yeah, okay. All right, I'm gonna treat this as entering that supply zone. So I'm gonna put in a sell order now.
Sell at market executed.
Potentially, yeah, maybe you should wait a little bit longer just to double check and confirm that it does enter that supply zone, but close enough. All right, let me put this over here like that. Remember, this is not really a trading session, so anything can really happen with this trade. Let's see. Okay, yeah, you guys can see it's 23 pounds, right? So if I do the TP, it should be 23 quid. I don't know why the last trade was so small. Very, very strange. All right, let's speed this up and see where we go. Yeah, there we go. Going back to, oh, come, there we go.
Buy limit executed.
Right.
Exit with gains.
So you can see what happened here. Because we've got these two zones, right? And if you watched my previous videos, you know that how we identify a zone is looking for the wick to wick candle before a major movement happens. And so that would be your zone. So over here, I found this one to be the supply zone because you see this green candle here. Let me move this a little bit. Yeah, you see this green candle here, and then huge market movement into the downside, and it just continued to go down. So that's how we found that zone, and same thing happened here. There's a major market movement from this bearish candle uh, here. So that would be my lowest point, and you can see what's happening here, right? So once it dips into this demand zone, it shoots back up slightly and continuously does this, and then you can see it touched here, but it went down. So that's how we were able to do that. Like I said, it's I find it to be pretty good way to identify entry and exit points, and it is kind of um, accurate, but when I've been doing it, it's more like 55% accurate, you know. So it's not like 80%, you know. Anyway, we'll continue trading, and you'll see that it's not. We're not gonna hit it every time, obviously. So it's gonna continue going into the downside, and then re-hit our demand zone, which would be very, very good. So again, we're at 10 to 5 a.m. in New York. Not much is going to happen at the moment, right? When is the New York session? When does that actually start? That's should be 8 a.m. I think. I think it's 8 a.m. The New York session starts. All right, so we're about what 2.5 hours away from the New York session starting. Wow, look at this, right? So you can see in the momentum, like just so much sell-off here. Look at this, oh, there's so much sell-off. Look at that, and then boom, straight back up, and we're back into this downside part. So we might begin identifying now a new demand zone because from what this is telling me is, you know, this is our, let's say this is our previous level, or over here. Okay, okay, maybe we don't need to identify demand zone, but the point is, if the momentum shoots way past this, or you know goes far above this, then I would treat that as a way to find a new demand or supply zone. Um, just because you know, it's not going to come back down to about here and be treated as a demand zone. It will likely come to about here if the momentum was a lot higher. I mean, that's how I look at it. To be honest, I really should be looking at the RSI as well. I think the RSI would help a lot here too. So in the future, okay, I'll try and bring in the RSI, and then we can check momentum, RSI, do supply and demand trading, and just kind of mix all these strategies together and see if they work well together. All right, so massive sell-off. Look at that, massive, massive sell-off. We're entering, hopefully we're going toward our demand zone. It's 6:30 now in New York. So we are hoping the market is going to move pretty quickly. Let's have a look. Yeah, minute by minute. So the New York session is about to start in about 10 seconds. Here we go. So it's now what, 10 to 7, and we're gonna see what happens. 6, 7, 8. Right. Okay. Okay. I'll make it 9. Oh, I don't want it. Okay, well, okay, well, okay. So you can see up here it's 6:58 in New York. You can see we're about to hit that demand zone. I have a feeling it's gonna dip into here and skyrocket up. Um, you know, yeah, it's big. I feel like there's gonna be a huge movement with the New York session starting.
Buy at
So
market
I
executed.
want to buy at this market. I'm gonna put it up to, yeah, about here, with a stop loss slightly lower than the actual demand zone, just in case. So I'll put it there. So that's 25 quid. So you can see, so I'm going to put in a buy order. I think it's going to jump back up. I know the momentum here is showing large sell-off. But you know, okay, it might not be a good entry point, but let's take a look and see what happens when the market opens. So the New York session has started. We can see it's dipped in. The momentum has reversed into the upside. So let's see what happened. Okay, let me speed this up a little bit. All right. Okay, here we go. So it's going up into the upside, which is good. Here we go. No, it's not. It's struggling a little bit here. I think this is where, you know, the buyers and the sellers are fighting each other. You can see that there's a lost amount of momentum on these wicks. Huge purchasing here. Hopefully it's going to go up and hit our TP. Here we go. There we
Sell
go.
limit
Perfect.
executed.
Okay. So
Exit with gains.
so we exited with gains. How much was it? It was 45 pounds, which is very, very ideal. Okay, so like we're yeah, with the New York session, we saw that they entered within. So this is a 2 hour, so an hour and 15 minutes. They entered at 7 a.m. And now we can see that it's just jumping. They've entered the market, and there's just been a huge surge in buying pressure of the GBP, or the sell-off of the USD, pushing that into the uptrend. So you can see that there's much more volume during a trading session, which is of course very, very important if you're going to do forex trading. You want to enter these sessions and try and capture that market movement. Okay, so we seem to have, I got a pretty good exit point there. So my exit was here. I'm not doing zone to zone exits. I was doing that previously and it just never reached it. Always went, but near the previous high's high. So that's why I put my TPs there. I just find it to be a much better, more just less risk, for cashing out, right? For taking that profit. All right, so yeah, we can see that there's strong momentum now into the upside. Let me move. Ooh, okay, look at that. Okay, massive momentum. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. Okay, so that was when the market opened. I think, yeah, that was when the market opened or the trading session started. Let's see if it hits our supply zone. So we can put in a short order. So you can see it's slowly climbing up to the supply zone. Might start having a huge market movement now. And we may need to begin identifying a new demand and a new supply zone in a minute. All right, so it's slowly climbing. Let's try and speed this up a little bit. Right, here we go. Oh, it's falling back down toward demand zone. It's good. Okay, let's see if it taps into that demand zone again. Like I said, this might be the last time we go for another, we use this demand. Oh, you can see, I think I should have moved this demand zone. I think it's moved already a little bit to around this area here. You can see that, okay, so um, if I just copy this and we can take a look. Oh, let me configure. Huh? Oh, I see. Let me just make this yellow. You can kind of see now that that demand zone is here. You can see that yellow. Oh, yeah, you can see that that demand zone has somewhat shifted upward slightly. Um, and perhaps we should start using this as our semi-new demand zone for the time being. Let's just continue and see where the market goes. If it enters this zone again, I will put in a trade. But we kind of want it to hit one of our supplies and we want it to go up a little bit before we put in a buy order. Ah, I hate it when this happens because you just sat here waiting for a long time to see, oh, where's the market going to go? I want to put in a trade, but you don't know which direction the market's going to go. When it's dead center, look, it's like dead center between our two zones. It's like, yeah, we don't know where it's going to go. Yeah, even the momentum, look at this. It's just playing around this line. All right, we've got a little bit of sell-off. It's starting to drop down again. The New York session's over, so that's a whole day has gone by. So that means the volume should slow down a lot now. Yeah, yeah. Unless you got, yeah, you can see you got Hong Kong up here. So the Asian session might be trading the GBP USD. Who knows? Um, Gosh, this market is not moving at all. All right, I'm gonna have to increase the length of this supply zone. Did I get it right? Yeah. Oh, perfect. And let's increase this demand zone. Okay, here we go. All right, we're finally climbing into a supply zone. Ah, just touched it. Almost touched it. All right, fine. It's too late to enter now. It's already touched. Already, yeah, okay, there we go. Okay, wonderful. Now I can enter a trade.
Select market
Wonderful.
executed.
So because it's now touched that supply zone, what time is it in New York? It's 3 a.m. Oof, I don't know if there's gonna be much happening here. But all right, let me put the loss at 20 quid. And I'm gonna go for a very tight trade here. 11 pounds. Meh. Yeah, I know this is very tight, but I really want to, I think I can target at least halfway point here. Yeah, I don't have a too much of a strategy with this. Just I don't want to go past here. I just feel like it's not going to hit that. I think it's going to jump back and then shoot past our supply zone later on. Oh,
Buy
great.
stop executed. Exit with loss.
Ah, that sucks. Oh, shit. All right, fine. Whatever. So what was that? I lost, what did I lose? 20 quid? 16. 16 pounds? Really? I thought it was 20. Okay, well, whatever. That's fine. Okay, so I feel as though, okay, you got massive buying here, and it's just shot past our supply zone. But honestly, I don't think it's going to continue going up. I really don't think it's going to continue going up, but let's try and put in another sell order.
Sell at market executed.
Put in another sell order. Yeah, dude. Yeah, okay, try and get that 16 quid back. That would be great. Let me slow this down a little bit. I hope it doesn't go past. There we go. Okay, we
Buy
got.
limit executed. Exit with gains.
Well, there we go. Got the 16 quid back. Um, yeah, sometimes this happens, right? So, if I put my stop loss a little bit too tight, above that zone, it I can get stopped out, but it doesn't mean that the market is reversing into a different trend, up or down. It's just I don't know. Sometimes this generally happens. I mean, somebody's gone in and brought up a lot of GBP, or someone who has potentially shorted the GBP. Like, just there's a huge amount of volume there, and it just pushes me out of the market each time. All right, so we're kind of struggling around this zone at the moment. I'm gonna put in another sell order,
Sell at market
but
executed.
again, I'm gonna make this very tight. So 11 quid. Make this quite tight here. Ooh, oh, it's a dangerous stop loss, really. That's a horrible, if I lose this, I lose 25. If I get it, I only get 11, but let's see what happens. Oh, there we go.
Buy limit executed.
Yeah,
Exit with gains.
exit with gains. That was 11, right? Yeah. Okay, 11 quid. All right, so yeah, not too bad. You can see that this supply zone is verified. It is working. Let's see if it drops back down to our demand zone, and we can potentially put in a final trade. I think the New York session is going to begin very soon, and this is a good time to trade. So it's 5 a.m. in New York. I'm just looking at the clock at the moment. It's just playing around with that supply zone. So I have a feeling it's going to drop to about here. Hold on, let me mark that out. I think this is where it's going to drop. I'm not going to put in a trade, but I think that's just where it's going to drop. Let me just widen that. Yeah, maybe color, I don't know, blue. Ooh, God, no, blue is horrible. Teal. Okay, here we go. So I think it's going to hit here. I'm not going to put in a trade for it. Just generally think it will. Oh, it's not. Oh, that's embarrassing. Where are we? Okay, we're 6:30 in New York now. So let's take a look and see if we want to enter into a position. Oh, yeah, see, hit it. Woohoo. Yeah, let me just move that somewhere. Okay, New York session is about to begin. Massive sell-off into the downside. We might break these zones with this new session starting. So I am not confident enough to put in a trade. Okay, we're at 658 over there. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's gonna break these zones. I think it's gonna push the market into a whole new direction. I think it's gonna go past this zone up to here. I could be wrong. I'm not confident to enter a trade. And this is what I found recently is if you are not so confident in entering, you don't know which direction it's going to go, then just best not to go in. That's what I found. So, okay, so the New York session, 7 a.m. has started. Let's see where the market goes. Oh no, it's pretty slow. Yeah, just playing around with that. Okay, if this really is still a
Sell at
verified
market executed.
if this really is still a verified supply zone, I'm just going to put my TP here with a stop above this line. Like I said, yeah, I have a feeling it's going to break this zone. It's going to break the zone. I'm going to make this 3 so that we can. Oh, hold on. Wait, let me just cancel these orders.
Buy at market executed.
Yeah, hold on. Right, let me, yeah, put in a sell
Sell at
order.
market executed.
30 to 30. I'm gonna move this here, so it's about 20. Close enough. Yeah, I'll keep it there. Okay, so I have a feeling it's gonna break the zone. If it breaks the zone, then yeah, we need to just wait for the market to stabilize in a way and then identify new zones. But it seems like this supply zone is verified. There is momentum into the downside. So let's have a look. Let's see if this trade plays out.
Buy
Perfect.
limit executed.
And there you go.
Exit with gains.
Exit with gains. There we go. So what was that? What was that 20? I don't know why this keeps saying random numbers to me. It's saying 16, but I could swear we put it in at 20, right? I don't know. Let's have a look here. Does this not like automatically add everything up for me? Oh, how annoying. Okay, fine. I guess I'll have to go in and do this calculation. Yeah, I'll have to do a quick calculation. I think it's roughly around 114 quid, so that's like minusing the 16 that we lost. Um, that looks pretty good, I think. What's that time frame as well? Well, yeah, we started trading around these zone areas, right? So, what was that? Let me just go back through and take a look. Um, where was our first trade? Was it here? Yeah, it was. Okay. So was this the Monday, so 4th of April to when? When did we finish our final trade? It was around here. To the 5th of April. Okay. That's one day. That's one day worth of trading. Um, and I made 114 quid, right? So, if you do this, I mean, that's in one day. So if you do this, 5 days a week, you're looking about £2,000 a month, based off Forex, just Forex trading, for one day, which is pretty good, really, if you think about it. Okay, I didn't rely too much on the momentum indicator as much as the supply and demand zones. So I think I'll definitely continue using supply and demand zones to do forex trading. It certainly seems to be working out the best for me. So there it is. There it is, traders. As you can see, I made 114, around 114 quid just within one day's trading. So you can see at how important it is to trading sessions. And when previously I've been doing my live sessions on the London trading session, but I'll be moving over to the New York session. And so all my videos that I do these strategies on will certainly revolve around the New York trading sessions instead. But yeah, as you can see, supply and demand is definitely one of those trading strategies that you really want to be using. Um, I don't know about the momentum. I think next time I'll be playing around with the Fibonacci sequence as well as bringing in the RSI, and eventually I'll bring it all together and use supply and demand, the MACD, so the moving averages, the RSI, and identifying stock chart patterns. All of these in combination have increases your chance of success. But anyway, that'll be for a video in the future. I want to thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.